Alrighty, hello everyone, my name is Matt Scorpion, and we have another hotfix alongside a TWAB. Now, will I be covering the Crucible blog post? No, I will not, because I do not care about Crucible. Regardless, into the hotfix itself. So, fixing issues in Root of Nightmares, fix an issue where players were being locked out of the red border chest after the weekly reset. Fix an issue where Focus Light and Focus Darkness would not trigger in the Warrant encounter, essentially third or first boss encounter. Don't worry about this, because it allegedly wasn't fixed. Fix an issue where players could equip raid bonds without equipping them first, or obtaining them, excuse me. And a Shadow Throne fix an issue where the dungeon node would not appear to some players. In terms of the general fixes, fix an issue where Cabal Threshers were being bosses and damaging everything way more. And also fix an issue where the European Dead Zone just did not exist to some people. Weapons and investment fix an issue where the Winter Bites exotic glaive was benefiting from other glaive damage perks. Fix an issue where glaive melee feed kills were showing the projectile label. Fix an issue where the arc volley granted by the two-tailed fox's catalyst was not firing properly, and fix an issue where some weapon mods were just not available to some players. In terms of armor mods, they fixed an issue where equipping too many passive armor charge benefits would deactivate artifact perks. Changed Empower Finisher to count as a finisher mod for purposes of mutual exclusivity. This mod can no longer be equipped alongside a finisher mod that also consumes said armor charge stacks. Having an ability to generate and spend armor charge stacks in the same mod was creating conditions that latency would sometimes cause the perks to activate in an incorrect order. Additionally, when combined with stacks on stacks, Empowered Finish was circumventing basic armor charge mechanics, too easily resulting in too many orbs, bricks, or overshields, etc. The Untangler Artifact perk will no longer trigger on melee perks, or no longer trigger melee perks. Fiction issue introduced last hotfix that reverted the Mandarin voiceover to English. In general, they also increased the time to give accommodations to other players after finishing certain activities, and changes to the Guardian Rank's Lost Sector requirements to be covered again in the TWAB. So, in the TWAB itself, what is going to be covered is a tribute to Lance Reddick, a Crucible blog post, TLDR, long story short, essentially, Raid Master Challenge modes, Guardian Rank updates, as just mentioned, and player support and movie and art of the week. So, if you didn't know, the voice actor for Commander Zavala, Lance Reddick, did pass this last week, last Friday. It is an incredibly tragic occurrence, and I apologize if I don't sound too heartfelt. This is the third time I'm covering this occurrence. So, it has been super heartwarming to see so many people coming out and giving their condolences. All the vigils in the tower. I didn't see any personally. I wasn't honestly playing Destiny that day because of obvious reasons, but aside from that, Lance Reddick, you will definitely be missed all over nerd culture. On that note, moving forward, the Crucible TLDR, basically some of the things covered in the last Crucible patch, or the Crucible blog post, excuse me. Updates to how maps and game modes are weighed and picked, matchmaking adjustments, and an explanation of Fireteam matchmaking, competitive matchmaking, and how skill rating works. Feature competitive rewards and quality of life updates, upcoming Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris plans, as well as new and returning game modes in Crucible. If you want to read more details, read it there. I will not be. And give your kind and considerate constructive feedback to the Destiny 2 team account when able. Then as well, for Root of Nightmares, the Master Difficulty version will be launching next week alongside Challenge Mode versions, which, if you don't know what Challenge Mode is, it's essentially a rotating weekly challenge for a specific encounter that when doing a specific criteria for a raid, would result in an extra drop of loot when it's completed. If you didn't know, an example, for the Rolk final boss fight during Vow of the Disciple, if you completed it without ever losing the leeching buff and completing a phase without ever having to reacquire said buff, you would get an extra chest drop at Rolk. And what it actually means for Master Mode is how you get access to the Adept raid weapons out of Root of Nightmares, which in the future, in the same season, will be updated to allow enhancing, in which, let's say you got an Adept Rufus's Fury that would result in a rewind round and hatchling roll. You would be able to get enhanced rewind rounds and enhanced hatchling naturally without having to craft it. On that same note, there are also two issues pertaining to Root of Nightmares. First of all, Nezarec does not respond correctly to players when standing in a well of radiance, allegedly, so they're going to change his AI to, I guess, a better affect people standing in wells. And the second issue is during the jump puzzle and Root of Nightmares during the second encounter, people with higher frame rates, usually above 80 frames, but not below 60, could be unintentionally killed or almost killed by the jump pads. They're investigating a change to fix said issue. Now, the Guardian Rank updates that were mentioned before, basically, the Legend Lost Sector Guardian Rank objective from rank 7 has been moved up a rank, And the Master Lost Sector Guardian rank objective has been moved up to rank 10 from 9. And in case you did not, or in case you already had them completed, they do not need to be redone once you go up. They should be auto-completed, which I know I had a lot of stuff auto-completed when I got to rank 8 myself. So, on that note, player support. Now, I don't know why they talked about the Immortal here, because there's no mentions of a nerf yet. Sad face most of the Crucible community. But as well, the Dimensional Hypotoxoid Grenade Launcher can have a range masterwork going over known issues. Non-Lightfall quests show under the Lightfall quest category. Hunters that die and have strand reapplied will lose their first strand aspect. Thunderhead grips are missing an armor ornament for armor synthesis. Certain heavy weapon archetypes are not benefiting from equipping a third reserve slot. Unpowered melees can produce fast melee combos in quick succession. Commendations are grayed out as already given in some activities. Master dungeons aren't showing artifice armor in the reward pool. Shielded foes activity has a placeholder icon. They are investigating an issue causing players in the comp playlist to not be able to rejoin the comp playlist after an in-game suspension. Can be fixed if they go to another match of competitive Crucible on another character. And as well, playing a Legend and Master Lost Sectors as well as Master Wellspring can soft lock on a black screen when wiping to orbit. Players in this state can return to orbit manually to fix that issue. And of course, address the known issues article to review them and report anything to help forum if you have a known issue you know of yourself. Now, of course, there is many arts and tributes to Lance because of his, of course, passing. Majority of well done art that I will hope to actually see way more of. The man was an icon. I want to see him permanently immortalized. That is the end of the TWAB. My name is Met Scorpion, and thank you for watching.